And welcome back to my podcast, The Hayley Osborne Show. I am so glad that you are listening with me today, wherever you are. I'm excited to bring to you another episode of this podcast, and I'm glad to be in your ears. So, thank you so much. To set the scene, it is daylight. It is not nighttime when I'm recording this. I am leaning into batching my podcast episodes for the next few weeks because it just allows me to get more done. So if you have not gotten into batching your marketing, and your content and in and around everything that you do, really, batching even like the food prep, right? I think it saves you time in the long run. It might take a little bit more effort, but especially with a podcast, like there's a lot to set up. So there's, getting all of the programs open that I use and editing and the microphone and plugging everything in. And, I'm rocking out the neon today. So if you're watching on YouTube, the neon sign is on, and that's a really cool backdrop. And you know what? Sometimes I just forget to turn it on, and it's so cool. Anyway, I've got a cup of tea here. I've got my water. I'm ready to go. And firstly, I want to address that last week I announced that I will be running a free workshop, and that will be in September. It's actually changed now. So I know that I went to market across blanketed everything, saying that the free, fully booked health brand workshop that I will be delivering live would be in September. The dates have now changed. So if you were hoping to get on that today, so that's when the episode is coming out, I have actually moved the dates. And there's a few reasons why I've done that, which I'll explain in a minute. But the workshop dates are now the 14th, 15th, and 16th of October. And I just want it to be fully booked. And I realized that I'm doing things differently this time than I've ever done when I've run anything free. And I want it to be impactful. I want it to be huge. I want it to have a massive, like, bang effect. I want everybody to walk away with huge answers to their problems and the challenges that they're facing, and I want to be able to answer them, and I'm doing it differently. So I'm pretty excited about this. This is actually the first free event that I have had online since I have transitioned over to supporting health brands, and I'm pretty excited about it. So I realize that there are a few things happening at the same time. Yes, even though I had planned out my year, things change. And I said to myself, you know what? I'm the boss. I get to decide when I do this and when it feels really aligned for myself and my family. And I'm changing the dates. And I want to give myself the space to have the best runway possible for this that I can give myself, that I've ever given myself without just doing it, right? So that's the reason. So the dates have changed. So I would love you to come along. I've had people register already, and I just emailed them, and they're cool with that. So it's great. So people that have registered already, lean into listening to older podcast episodes. So a couple of weeks ago, a couple of weeks before that, and just start to upskill yourself. So if you're thinking like about, leaning in and learning and up leveling, like, in the next few weeks, go back and listen to some podcast episodes of mine, binge some of them, read a couple of my blogs, and there's a couple of free resources that also exist on my website. So one of them in particular, that is my most popular, is the 10 essentials every health brand marketing plan needs, and it is a checklist. So go over to the website, grab that and start using that to build out your business's marketing foundations. That will really help you. So yes, the fully booked health brand workshop live for you to be able to build the marketing foundations that fill your appointment book is going to be on the 14th, 15th, and 16th of October, live over Zoom. I'm delivering it live. I'm really excited. I can't wait to see your faces. It's been such a long time. And, in this 3-session online live workshop, you are going to learn how to position your health brand as the trusted choice to start attracting more dream clients. And if you are in the business of health and you help people to live healthier lives and you help the community, then this is for you. So if you're a health brand, if you're a physio, if you're a chiro, psychologist, dietitian, wellness clinic, beauty therapist, or fitness professional, and you're really ready to attract more dream clients with consistency to be able to stand out online so people choose you over your clinic down the road, and you are ready to align your marketing so it feels professional so that you become the trustworthy source and true to you, and you want some strategies that actually work in the health space, then this workshop is exactly what you've been waiting for. There's a few prep things too. So, in order for you to prepare for this free workshop, I recommend that you download Canva if you don't already use it, because I'm going to show you some awesome ways to be able to work with that. And I also recommend, if you have not already, to download ChatGPT, because I'm going to share some awesome GPTs that I've built with you, because that will really help you to transition into filling your appointment book and with your ideal clients. And so I hope that you can join me live then. I'm sure that you will. And it just feels more aligned. And it had to happen. So let's get into today's podcast episode. It is 173, and I want to talk about the health brand visibility problem, okay, and how to fix it. So I think that, just like you, I want you to, and myself, get booked out with ease, with more clarity and way less overwhelm. So if, you're amazing at what you do, but you still feel invisible online, if you're posting here and there and maybe updating your website once a year and hoping people will just find you, this episode is going to change the way you think and hopefully feel about your visibility and how you show up forever. Okay. Because I think it's important. And I think that that's why it feels hard, and that's why it probably isn't working. So there's so many incredible health brands that are stuck right in this. Sorry, I just hit the microphone. That are stuck right in this space, and you're doing some marketing, and maybe you're showing up somewhat on Instagram, and maybe you are sending the odd email. Maybe you don't even have a list yet, but it's pretty inconsistent and it's unclear. And I think because of that, your audience, they don't know who you help, how you do it, or why you are the one that they should choose over the clinic or practice down the road. And I think the truth is that visibility without being clear, it's just background noise. All right. There is so many people that do what you do. How do you differentiate yourself in an already busy market? Okay. Because the community that you are in needs people like you to help them. Okay. And if you are not clear on how you do that, how are you going to help people? All right. And I think just being online doesn't mean that you're being seen. Okay. So I've seen there's so many awesome health businesses and health practices, health practitioners out there. But the way that you are out there is pretty generic. And I have seen this time and time again. And I've found through the clients that I have helped along the way is when you make that shift, that is the change. Okay. And I think that most health professionals are really missing the foundation pieces that make being visible actually work and actually move the needle. So what does real visibility look like for health brands? It's not about being everywhere. Okay. And most people make that mistake, but it's about being in the right places with the right message, in a way that is consistent and that's true to you. And so for health brands, this means your message needs to build trust and it needs to do it fast, like in an instant. Okay. The way that you look and feel, as in not you personally, but your brand, it needs to feel professional, but it also needs to be trustworthy. Okay. So there is a fine line and it needs to be original. like very original, and you need to show up with the way that you build your content and the way that you are visible in a rhythm that aligns with your energy. Okay, and not against it. Because when you do what you do, you are constantly being sucked of your energy all day. That's probably not the best way to describe it, but you are, because you are giving so much of yourself and your zone of genius to your clients, and you're in the business of helping people. Okay, so your marketing needs to be appearing in a way that is matching your energy. And so if you've got no energy left, because you would be doing your marketing at the end of the day, I'm assuming, then it is going to appear that way with a lack of energy. So this, I think, if your message, your presence, your everything needs to be aligned with high vibe energy that attracts who you are. But without knowing that, that's where the brick wall happens. Because here's the kicker. I think that when you're inconsistent, when you're unclear, you're just blending in, and your clients aren't choosing you confidently. Okay. Because when you put your health in someone's hands, it's a really big deal. And I say this a lot, like, people are crazy because we get 3 quotes on a new bathroom renovation, but we rely on one person for our health. And so if you're that person delivering that to your client, uh, better hope that you're doing a good job. And so that extends out to your visibility, it extends out to your marketing. And not because you're not amazing, but because your visibility isn't reflecting your true value because you haven't sat down and done the work. And that's the shift that I want to help you make. So I want to be able to show you how. And I know, like, in a podcast, it's really hard. So if you're nodding along and you're thinking, yep, that's me. Yep, I need to understand these things. I need to know these things. I want you to join me for the fully booked health brand workshop. Okay. And that's where I go into more detail around everything. And I want to help you understand what your message is. And so if you want to make some notes right now to be able to start to work on that, I have a framework inside of my business that I've built, and it's called MAPS. And the acronym stands for Market, Audience, Problem, and Solution. And so if you can actually detail a clear answer to each of those words, that then needs to be morphed into your transformation message. And that is amazing. So, who is your target market? Who is your audience? Okay. What is the problem that you solve? That's the P. And what is the solution that you provide? Okay, so what does that look like? So the market and the audience, the problem and the solution. The solution can be the transformation too. What is the transformation that you provide? So for me is I help health brands and businesses to create marketing activities and strategies, okay, in the health space. Because if you're in the business of helping people live healthier lives, I am your girl. So to create marketing activities and strategies, because that's the problem people are faced with, is difficulty creating those. Okay, that's the problem. To have the biggest impact with the least amount of time and effort. Okay, and that's the transformation, that's the solution. So think about what that looks like for you. And trust me, this is the simplest, most hardest task you'll do. Okay, but it all starts from here. And, where you start is never how you end. So don't compare your one to someone else's 20 and see them doing amazing. And Hayley has her elevator pitch that's like the 2 sentence down pat, because it hasn't always sounded like that, but it's an evolution of that over time. So where you start is also not how you're going to finish, or whatever. That sentence is crazy, but you have to start somewhere. So just put it out there. And mine has evolved over time, and it's got me to where I am today. And let me tell you, like, even with this podcast, I'm at episode 173 now, but this is not scripted. I mean, it is, I've got dot points of what I want to say, but it is me just going with that because I know exactly what I stand for, who I am, and how I help people. And that is reflected in the podcast because it comes across as being really confident, right? So I always had a script. Okay. Especially I reckon the first 50 episodes, I would have a full script word for word written down. It would take me bloody ages. But now over practice and over time, I've gotten really good at it. And so I think that it's the same with creating a transformation message, your elevator pitch. Okay. Use my MAPS framework. And there's a lot more things, if you want more, that I will teach you inside the Fully Booked Health Brand Workshop. Okay. So we go into more detail in that over 3 days. It's hands on, it's live, it's totally free. And you can register now over on my website. Okay. And I think that this will give you the stopping spinning wheel moment. All right. And you'll be able to start showing up with more confidence, clarity, and more connection because that's what people want in the health space. They want to connect with you. They have to connect with you before they buy from you because you're visible in the right way, which means that they can't help but choose you. Okay. And I'll see you inside the workshop, guys. And let's get fully booked. All right. That's the end of this podcast episode. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have any questions, please send me a message on Instagram. That's where I hang out the most. Even if it's a voice message, just press hold and record your voice and send it to me. I love hearing from you. And I will see you next week for another episode of the Hayley Osborne Show. Catch you later.